Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the weekly Wrestle Buddy Smackdown recap with me, Nick the Geek. So, hi everyone who's tuning in. Let me just hello, David. Good to see you, and hello, Courtney. Decent show considering that half the roster are in Saudi Arabia. I'm under the assumption this show was pre-taped this week because I watched the press conference from Saudi this afternoon, and the Usos and Braun Strowman were both on it. So I'm under the assumption this was a pre-taped Smackdown, but for what it was a decent enough show. So things kick straight off with an okay no DQ match between Liv and Sonya Deville. I say okay because yes, there was lots of plunder involved, lots of steel chairs, kendo sticks, tables. I really enjoyed the spot where Liv put them herself and Sonya through the table while smiling and laughing on the outside. I thought that was good build for a character and it was reasonably enjoyable. But as far as the match goes, Sonya Deville's not the greatest worker in the world, and Liv Morgan has improved a great deal, but she still has a terrible finish. It has no impact to it whatsoever. It's convoluted to set up. Yes, you can theoretically do it on anybody, but the Oblivion is not a good finishing move. It never will be a good finishing move. Whether you add a set of chairs into there or not, it still isn't a decent finish, I'm afraid. But all in all, not a bad match. Not a great match by any means, but not a bad match. It was a decent showing for Liv, a reasonable showing for Sonya, and I enjoyed it for what it was. After that, what do we have? Oh, there was a really good spot with a kendo stick and a crossface in that match that I thoroughly enjoyed. Just to point that out, I thought that was quite creative, right out of Edge's playbook, and I enjoyed that. After that, we had a recap of Emma's return from last week, which I thought was strange, but considering that she lost, I would have thought they would have shown a more flattering recap than her just getting her ass kicked by Ronda again, but they just showed her getting her ass kicked by Ronda again. And then we went to an Emma promo where Xia Li interrupted her, and I'm not honestly sure what Xia Li said. There were people talking. And then Emma just blasted her in the face and put her down in one. So Emma's being portrayed as a badass, I assume, which I'm absolutely fine with. I'm a big fan of Emma. I always have been, even when she was Tenille Dashwood out in the Indies. She's a very good worker. She's enjoyable to watch, and she can cut a promo. So hopefully she'll go far now that she's back under Triple H's watch. I always thought it was a shame that she got released 5 years ago, so it's good to see her back in the company. After the Emma promo package, we had a Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar video recapping advertising their match for Crown Jewel. After this, we had the second advert break of the evening. The first one came halfway through the Sonya Deville with Morgan match. I'm going to point all of these advert breaks out because there were 10 of them. Now, 10 advert breaks in one show. I don't know how you Americans deal with it. It's virtually impossible to stay invested in the program. I do my best because I have to do it. I enjoy wrestling and I love doing this show. So I have to make sure that I'm paying attention, but I do not understand how the American audience tolerates so many advert breaks. They must all just watch it on TiVo, surely. What have we got here? Well, tag team division, if that's the direction she's headed. Yes, she will. I completely agree with you there. Yes, SmackDown was taped, Courtney. I believe so anyway. It seemed taped because, as I say, both the Usos and Braun Strowman are in Saudi Arabia. So I was under the assumption it was taped. Where were we? Okay, after we got back from the second break, we had a recap of Logan Paul's podcast where it was a recap of his brother saying, hey, do you want some backup? And now Jake Paul, as we all know, is going to be in Logan's corner in Saudi Arabia. We then had a recap package for Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul. Now, this was a great video package. It made me interested to see the match, which up until this point, they've not managed to do. Because honestly, I think the match is a stupid idea. I understand Logan Paul has 30 million followers, and that's a lot of people, and that's a lot of eyes to bring onto WWE. But even the concept of Logan Paul holding one of those championships is the most David Arquette move that WWE could possibly make. It's ludicrous. If he wins, and he wins clean over Roman Reigns, that makes every single challenger from Kevin Owens to Shinsuke Nakamura to Bryan Danielson to Cesaro to everyone else that Roman, to Edge, to everyone else that Roman has squashed on this epically long run, make it look like absolute jobbers. They cannot have Logan Paul win this match. If you're a betting person, do not bet on Logan Paul to beat Roman Reigns tomorrow, because it is a snowball's chance in hell. The day the devil needs a snow shovel is the day that Logan Paul will legitimately, cleanly beat Roman Reigns. Anyway, sorry, minor rant over. Back to the show. After that, Logan Paul and Roman Reigns back, we went to our third advert break. Not even a match. There was about 3 minutes of program, then another advert break. When we came back from that advert break, we had a Viking Raiders promo package. Very well directed, as they always are. Good shots. Them getting war paint applied around a campfire, drinking blood, doing all sorts of other spooky things. I think it's a good job that they're doing this at the moment, because they're keeping people aware that the Viking Raiders are still around, even though one of I think Hansen or Ray Rowe or Eric, as he is in WWE, is injured. I think he's got a foot injury, which is why they're out, and they'll wait till they come back. But I like these little promo packages. They're interesting, and they have an air of spooky bollocks to them. And I do love a bit of spooky bollocks in professional wrestling. We then had our second match, which was LA Knight versus Ricochet. I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was the second best match of the night. Not saying much considering there are only 4 matches on tonight's show, but still, I thought it was the second best match of the night. LA Knight cut a fantastic promo on the way to the ring, talking about how he's a superstar and people need to treat him like a superstar, and the ring announcer needs to get his name right. And then his entrance to her announcement wasn't good enough, so she needs to do it again. And just as he's about to hand her the microphone, Ricochet dives on LA Knight and knocks him down. Then they get back in the ring. Ricochet does some more flippy dippy doos. Dive to the outside. LA Knight cuts him off with a dropkick. Ricochet reverses his Irish whip, comes back around, throws him outside of the ring, does the Ricochet superhero flip, lands, bang, and then we went to our fourth advert break. When we came back from it, LA Knight had just about taken control over Ricochet. He throws him into the corner, the big bang front turnbuckle bump spot, which I always enjoy, into the leaping neckbreaker, which is a really good spot for LA Knight. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Then they went back and forth for a couple of minutes, and it went back to a Ricochet rolled up LA Knight. LA Knight reversed it, grabbed the tights and the middle rope just to make sure that he got the win. Really loved this. Great heel move. It proves that he's not a good guy and he'll do anything to win, especially when he was boasting about how cleanly he beat him on the way back up the ramp. I thought that was fantastic. Really, really good show so far. Anyway, for a go-home show, thoroughly entertained with Smackdown this week. Flew by, went really, really fast. It was well paced. Right after that, sorry, it's going through my notes. I'm old, so I still handwrite all my notes. Okay. Then we went to a Bloodline promo package. This was good, as usual. The Usos, Sami, and Solo, because Roman's obviously in Saudi. The Usos, Sami, Solo, and Roman, and the Usos, Sami, and Solo were stood in the ring. It's Jay is going on about how he's going to go out the ring, and he's going to tell the Brutes what's going to happen to him. And then Sami says, like, no, it's not a good idea. The match with the Brutes is set. You've no need to go out there. Just leave it alone. And Jay is all like, nah, man, you're not in charge of me. I will do what I want. We were tag team champions before you came along. We're going to be tag team champions long after you're gone. Come on, bro. And him and Jimmy go out to the ring. That was a terrible impression of Jey Uso, by the way, so don't take that to heart. They go out to the ring. They turn around and basically do the you're the twos, we're the ones bit. And then the New Day interrupt and basically say that if by some miracle they get past the Brawling Brutes, when they come back on from Saudi Arabia and land on American soil, the New Day will be waiting for them. And it's been announced that next week, the winner of the Brawling Brutes or the New Day will be going the Brawling Brutes or the Usos will be going one-on-one with the New Day. One-on-one. It's not really one-on-one in a tag match, but everybody gets my meaning. Ricochet's great for you tonight. Knight does the storytelling. Ricochet does the ring. Yes, completely agree. LA Knight is a fan. Eli Drake, whatever you want to call him, is a phenomenal storyteller. He's one of the best talkers they have. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's an air of The Rock when he speaks. If you close your eyes and listen, they have a very similar voice. He has command on the microphone. He has commanding presence in the ring, and he's a good storyteller. Along with adding Ricochet's flippiness and his general super athleticism into that story, that right there is a top-ranked feud. Sorry, we then went to the 5th advert break. And we came back from that advert break. We had a promo package for, in fact, this was all before the Usos in the ring. We had a 5th advert break. Then we had a promo package with Bray Wyatt, where Bray talked about not wanting to be interrupted anymore. Because when you're trying to do something that's really hard for you and you need to be able to get it out there and just say something and then you get interrupted. Then an unfortunate member of staff walked into shot. And Bray Wyatt went completely off on this guy for walking in front of him and basically said, by the end of his rant at him, that he needs him to apologize. Look me in the eye and apologize and tell me you are sorry for interrupting me. And in this really intense way. And I thought that was fantastically done. I love what they're doing with Bray. I have no idea where it's going. I have absolutely no clue where this storyline is going. I can see a few pathways, but I have no idea which road they're going to take. But everything they're doing with Bray is ace for me, so thoroughly enjoying it, and I really hope that this goes somewhere good. But then there was the Usos in the ring. They got interrupted by the New Day. After they were interrupted by the New Day, the Brutes attacked. Then after the brawling Brutes attacked, it was a bit weird because it made the New Day look like a bit of heels because they started beating down Jey Uso while the Brutes were beating down Jimmy Uso. And it was a 4-on-2 situation. And then Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa came out, and then they made the save. Then the Bloodline beat down everybody else, and the Bloodline stood tall at the end, which is very, very good. It was an interesting brawl. Solo got to look strong, which I'm very happy about. I'm a big fan of that boy. I think he's got a hell of a future in the business if he can learn to talk. Because his in-ring work, it reminds me of Taz more than anyone else. And I'm not talking WWE Taz. I'm talking ECW Taz. Ass kicker that will destroy anybody that gets in the ring with him. Besides the size. The size is irrelevant when you get in the ring with somebody like that because they're a sawed-off monster. And I like that about Solo Sikoa. It's a good edge to have as a character. We then went to a Mysterio promo. Rey Mysterio talked about how he regrets that he's still going on about losing his son, which is fine because the father would. He's constantly going on about how, he misses Dominic and he misses sharing moments with Dominic, but now he's haunted by the bitter memories. So he's going to take all that pain, he's going to take all that anger, and he's going to shove it down Gunther's throat, and he's going to take the IC title from him. I was really looking forward to this main event. Like, Rey Mysterio, in fact, we'll get to that in a bit. I'm jumping ahead. We then had Shayna Baszler made her entrance with Ronda Rousey. Really happy about this. One, Shayna Baszler seems to be back to her old killer from NXT self, the woman who walked through the Elimination Chamber and melted through everybody. I'm really, really happy to see Shayna back to the old Shayna. And pairing her with Ronda, I believe, is a fantastic decision. They're friends in real life. I'm assuming they travel together when they're on the road. So, for me, it makes perfect sense to put them together. They're two of the four horsewomen of MMA, for Pete's sake. They're friends. They have a very similar working style. Shayna, in my opinion, can teach Ronda a lot about her character and selling in the ring and general storytelling, which Ronda needs to learn, and Shayna's rather good at. So I'm happy to see that Shayna and Ronda have been paired up. But Shayna made her entrance for a match against Natalya. Then we went to our 6th break. It was a good match. When we came back, Natalya made her entrance. It was a good match. It was a good showcase for Shayna. She won with the Kirifuda clutch. That's pretty much it. Natty got a distance clothesline in. That was about all the offense she got in. It was just a showcase for Shayna. She did the arm stomp. She was twisting her around, tying her up like a pretzel, and then just beat her with the Kirifuda clutch and then waited for a few seconds before she let go to make herself look extra angry. Then after the match was the interesting part. Ronda gets in the ring. Whispers something into Shayna, and Shayna takes her knee pad down, just runs over and bang, boots Natty in the face. Natty starts pissing blood out of her nose. Now, I don't know if this was a blood capsule that Natty had in her hand that she popped on her face because it didn't look like it was pouring out of her nose, but there was a lot of blood on her face and on her nose. But I've had my nose broken and I know it goes everywhere. So it's entirely possible that Shayna just accidentally broke Natty's nose. I really hope she didn't. Not that I mind not seeing Natalya on TV. I think she kind of needs to go away at this point. But it's a shame to get anyone to get hurt. especially by someone who hasn't hurt anybody yet in Shayna. So it'd be a shame if she did hurt her. Yes, LA Knight is great, Courtney. Couldn't agree more. Yes, she is. Queen of Spades. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm assuming it will be more NXT Shayna. It needs to be. What they nearly assassinated a character in the last year and a half. It was terrible. She's a killer. Let her be a killer. That's her character. She will beat people up and hurt them. That is Shayna Baszler. Let Shayna Baszler be this vicious monster. But moving on. And as I said, when we came back after that, we had our seventh. No, it was a cross. No, not break. Sorry, it was a Karrion Kross versus Drew McIntyre video package, advertising their steel cage match for Crown Jewel tomorrow. Good package, standard. Just recap their feud so far. Nothing special, nothing unexpected, nothing new. We then went to our seventh break. Then we had a recap of Alexa Bliss and Asuka winning the Raw Tag Team Championships. You know what? I refuse to call them Women's Championships anymore. It's superfluous. They're just championships. So it's the Raw Tag Team Championships. It's obvious that the women's belts, they're held by women. Why do you need to prefix it with the word women's? It makes no sense. So they won the Raw recap of them winning the Tag Team Championships. Then when we came back from this, we had MVP cut a promo. Basically saying that, oh, even though Omos isn't here, but I am. And I know that Braun Strowman is here. And I found out he had a match tonight. So I've got 5 opponents for him. It's going to be a 5-on-1 handicap match for Braun. All these jobbers come out, start walking down to the ring. Then Braun just bull rushes them from behind and decimates the lot of them. Then gets in the ring and proceeded to batter MVP for about the next 5 minutes. Chased him around the ring, snapped his cane over his leg, power slammed him 3 times. As I assumed, they have gone for the sensible, safe option and decided not to have Braun Strowman try and powerbomb a man the size of Omos. We all remember what happened when Kevin Nash tried to do it to the Big Show. I know that Braun is much more of a beast than Kevin Nash was as far as size and muscle-wise goes, but it's going to be very hard to power somebody like Omos who has a very limited skill set. And being thrown up for a powerbomb is not in his skill set. It's a 2-man job. You can't do it on your own. So I'm glad they're going for a power slam spot instead. I think it makes a lot more sense. And it ebbs Hogan Andre with the slam. So that's always good for a bit of history nerf. After this, we went to Kayla with a Gunther promo. Good. It was really good. Ludwig Kaiser kind of snatched the microphone away from Kayla Braxton and handed it to Gunther. And then Gunther basically said that tonight he will defend the title with honor, respect, and dignity because the match is sacred. Because Rey Mysterio has no honor. That's why his son left him, which I thought was a hell of a line. But then that was it for their promo. Right, we then went to a Legado del Fantasma promo announcing that it will be Santos Escobar, the former King Cuerno, one of the best luchadors in the world, versus Shinsuke Nakamura, one of the best strong-style Japanese wrestlers in the world, next week on SmackDown. I'm excited for this match. I'm a huge Santos Escobar fan. I was a huge fan of his when he was King Cuerno in Lucha Underground. That man is unbelievably skilled. And Shinsuke Nakamura is one of the greatest Japanese wrestlers of all time. I'm super, super excited for that match. I cannot wait to see it. Here we go. Say David. Oh, yeah, that one already. Yeah, they did. Very good point, Dave. Very good point. Anyway, so back to the match. Then we had our 4th and final match, the main event. This match was fantastic. Unfortunately, this match had 2 advert breaks in it, which was kind of annoying. It took me out of the moment. But it was a fantastic match. Gunther absolutely decimated Rey from the off. Well, not from the offset. The offset Rey did his cat and mouse routine where he dodges away and runs and gets a slap in. But then Gunther decimated and dominated for the foreseeable future of this match. This was all Gunther, and then Ray would get a hope spot. Then Gunther would come back, Ray would get another hope spot. Then Gunther would come back, and then Ray would get another hope spot. For example, a really good one in the middle of the match was when Ray hit a crucifix power. In fact, Gunther was going to slam him, body slam him, and Ray was blocking it, which is something you don't see anymore. You don't see wrestlers blocking body slams by grapevining the opponent's legs and grapevining the opponent's arms. And he did, and it was really good. So Gunther threw him up onto his shoulders, and then Ray reversed it into a crucifix bomb. It was a fantastic little spot. Really good timing. Excellently well done. That was fantastic. There was another amazing spot later on in the match, which was so well timed that I'm a sucker for timing in professional wrestling. I hope you all learn this about me as it goes on. For me, timing is the most important thing in pro wrestling. If you have timing, you can tell a story athletically and physically better than you can emotionally. And that is a big key to an athletics wrestler. If they don't have timing, they're not going to go far. But Ray had Gunther up on the top rope, and Gunther reversed him, went to powerbomb Ray off. So Ray went for a Hurricane Rana. Gunther reversed it, went up, got him up for a powerbomb, and as he jumped off the ropes in midair, Ray reversed it into a Hurricane Rana. It was so well timed. It was brilliantly done. This match was heavy hitting. It was so enjoyable to watch. I cannot complain about it at all. The match ended when Ray hit Gunther with a dropkick into the ropes, went for the 619. Gunther got up like a rocket turnaround and just bang, big boot straight to Ray's face, knocked him down, knocked him out, knocked him cold nearly. Then he grabbed his arm, lifted him up, swung him into the air, and did a lariat, and with pull-up clothesline lariat, but knocked him out of midair and pinned him. This was great because Ray had survived power bombs, Ray had survived everything else Gunther could have. To beat someone with a lariat after all that really showed that man was dead. Because lariats win matches, not clotheslines. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a perfect David and Goliath story, which Rey Mysterio is so good at telling. I can't wait to see who Gunther's moving on to next. I hope it's Drew McIntyre. Because I hope after Drew finishes with this cross feud that he moves on to Gunther. But I have a friend who has a theory that Drew is going to join the Brawling Brutes to fight the Bloodline at Survivor Series in War Games, and I will be all for that. So who he moves on to is actually a very good question. I'm always hoping there's a future for Butch to go up against Gunther in the future, because if you haven't seen their matches from Progress in the UK or from NXT UK, you're doing yourself a disservice. You should really go and watch them. They match up so well. It's so good. But I'm lollygagging. And that was the show, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, a couple of bits of business besides SmackDown. First of all, Jimmy, you have been running your mouth and complaining about injustice on Body Wars for the past 3 months. Even though you won all of your rounds, you got to the final, and then the final was a tie. And it was voted for by the public. There were no shenanigans. It was a tie. So on Monday night, there will be a tiebreaker. I have received your email of the person you are hoping will replace you. And I don't know if he's going to be able to get here, but I've given him the link. I've told him it'll be shared with him at the correct time on Monday, which is 11 p.m. UK time, because my friends, Jimmy has decided that he is not going to show up for the tiebreaker. Jimmy has said he is done with this because he is already the Body Wars champion, even though he is not the Body Wars champion. And he has decided that he will deprive you fans of seeing him perform in a tie-breaking quiz this Monday night. But instead, he will be replaced by a man who, you know what? No, I will wait till Monday to reveal who this person is. I think it's more fun that way. Sorry, Cap, I'm keeping this one close to my chest. It's better for the fans and it's better for the show. But he has got a replacement. He will be there on Monday, and I think it'll be a real kicker for everyone to watch. So this Monday at 11 p.m. UK time is the Body Wars Grand Final Tiebreak. The rules and definition of this quiz/competition have yet to be fully organized. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit behind. I haven't been able to hook up with the invisible hand and get this organized yet. But by Monday night, it will all be organized, and we will finally announce our Body Wars champion of the world for season 1. Any other business? Other business, also on Geek Buddy. I apologize that last week I missed my Bleach recap. I had family considerations and I was unable to make it. So this week I'll be doing a double episode recap of Bleach: The Thousand Year Blood War arc episodes 3 and 4 or 4 and 5. I cannot remember where I'm up to, honestly. Sorry, I've had a hectic week. But I will be doing a double episode recap for Bleach: The Thousand Year Blood War arc this week. That is all. Everybody, thank David, Courtney, thank you so much for tuning in. Anybody else that watches this thing, thank you so much for tuning in. I love you all. It means the world to me that you're tuning in. And in the meantime, I'm going to say it like I always do. If you enjoy what we do here at WrestleBuddy, if you like the content we put out, please, for me, like this video, subscribe to the page, hit that notification bell so you always know when there's new WrestleBuddy content coming out. It's free. It really helps us out. And it's the only way the YouTube algorithm really knows we exist. So thank you very much. I love you all. And I will see you next time. Peace.